Oh, they are licensed health professionals who are supposed to help you. But the 7 Action News investigators have uncovered dozens of cases of doctors, nurses, and others convicted of sex crimes, and a system that makes it possible for them to treat patients again.
Investigator Heather Catallo is here now following up on why these health workers have been allowed to get their professional licenses back. Heather.
Well, legislation is in the works to stop future health professionals convicted of a sex crime from keeping their licenses. But the proposed law only applies if the victim of an assault is a patient. And that has some victims saying it doesn't go far enough to protect the public. The 7 Action News investigators reviewed hundreds of state licenses for a dozen different health professions. We found 44 convicted sex offenders. They have all had their license reinstated, or they could get it back.
I do not think that he should be allowed to practice.
Joanne Naylor testified against her former eye doctor, Matthew Berman. A jury convicted Dr. Berman in 2008 of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct, landing him on probation for 5 years. His license was briefly suspended. This is Dr. Berman back to work at one of his 3 Metro Detroit offices. Dr. Berman refused an interview with 7 Action News, but when we asked him about the 3 female patients who said he touched them inappropriately, Dr. Berman told us they made it up. Proposed legislation is in the works that would permanently revoke the license of any health professional convicted of a sex crime, but it would only apply when the healthcare worker victimizes a patient.
You violate your patient's trust. I think that's when you forfeit your right to use whatever medical talents you have.
Naylor believes the proposed law should also apply when the victim is not a patient. State Senator Rick Jones, who co-sponsored the bill with Senator Tanya Shootmaker, agrees.
Why just a patient? Why not anybody?
That is what I've been able to get past. If it were up to me, if you were convicted of sexual assault, you would have no license, no matter who the victim was. In politics, sometimes you have to go for the compromise. And this is what I've been able to get past, and I think this is a start.
7 Action News uncovered several cases where the victim of a sex crime was not the doctor's patient. Court and state records show Alberto Cesar Antonini was an MD who was convicted of child sexually abusive material activity. His license was suspended in 2009, but he can apply to get it back. According to court records, Ross David Miller was a licensed medical doctor convicted of attempted criminal sexual conduct for molesting a relative. The state suspended his license in 2010 and then revoked it, but he also could apply to get it back. And Robert Joseph Moore is a licensed chiropractor who was convicted of attempted 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct, according to State Licensing Bureau records. 3 women say he fondled them during job interviews. The state suspended Moore's license and later put him on probation in 2012. He has a limited license, but can apply to have it fully restored.
I'm willing to make it tougher. If we go through this and it still isn't tough enough, we're going to be right back here with some new bills.
The bill was approved in the Senate and is waiting for a vote in the House. The American Civil Liberties Union of Michigan has opposed similar legislation in the past, but is not taking a position on this bill. The Michigan State Medical Society did vote to support it. When we asked them if they would also support one that applied to non-patients, they would not tell us. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this legislation, and we'll make sure to follow up on this.
Right. Thank you, Heather.
Good work, Heather.
Yeah.